OHS with myself, Jasper. It's always a pleasure just to come and talk to you on different topics. And yeah, good. I think on these different I want to play. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Right. I want to talk about reportable incidents. Reportable incidents is just a 3 minute exhortation here. Reportable incidences. Safety officers, business owners, organization, or 16.1, 16.2s. There are incidences which, when they happen at your workplace, you are allowed to report them to the Department of Employment and Labor. And if you do not do so, you can be held liable and be fined of 1,000 rands or anything up to 1 year imprisonment. So it's very critical to report certain incidents place and certain accidents to Department of Employment and Labor. And if they find out that these things happened and you did not tell them, they can hold you liable. And they'll think that you are sweeping incidents under the carpet. So these are what we call reportable cases. You have to report to the Department of Labor, and you report them in a document which we can call an Annexure 1 form. If you go to your Occupational Health and Safety Act, at the very end, there is a form called an Annexure 1 form. This is the form that you complete and send to Department of Labor, informing them about the incident. Preferably within 7 days. Within 7 days, send it through fast to them. The sooner the better. Now, the Health and Safety Act in Section 24 lists these reportable incidences or reportable cases. Number one, when a person dies at the workplace, you inform Department of Labor. When a person gets unconscious, they collapse, they faint for whatever reason, they get unconscious, you report to the Department of Labor. If the person loses a limb or part thereof, loses an arm, a leg, loses a limb or part thereof, you report to Department of Employment and Labor without failure. Number four, if someone becomes sick in such a manner that they lose work for at least 14 days, you inform Department of Labor. If someone gets injured in such a manner that they are likely to die, or they become ill where they get permanent disability, likely to die, inform. Disability or permanent disability or partial disability, inform Department of Labor. That's Section 24. It says report all these cases. But in addition to these cases, whenever a major incident happens at your workplace, for instance, there's a fire, for instance, there's a building collapses, and major incident, where even there was no injury to persons, but if a major incident happens, you are required by law to report to Department of Labor. If a dangerous substance spills, let's say a chemical spills into the stormwater drains, spills in the company, and 200 liters of fuel spills, or for instance, oil spills or an acid spills, number 8, you have to report that case to Department of Labor. Number 9, if a machine or part thereof just fractures and it just becomes a flying object, let's say it's a grinder or it's a drill, and that drill just fractures, breaks, and then it flies off, or it's a grinding disc, it fractures, it flies off, you are required to report that to Department of Labor. If a machine runs out of control, the number 10, number 9, if a machine runs out of control, you have to report. Meaning to say that maybe it's a forklift driver, now you cannot forklift, you can't break it, or it just runs out of control, it switches on for whatever reason, and it just starts moving around and just starts moving and it's uncontrollable. You report that. And then number 10, you also report the fact that there has been an uncontrollable release of a substance into the atmosphere. Gas, whatever, if it's released into the atmosphere, or it's released under pressure. Gas bottle, under pressure. you report it to Department of Labor. So those, we call them the 10 reportable incidences and cases, which you are by law required to report without failure. Very, very critical, very, very important. I hope that makes sense. So there are those reportable incidences. Then that's section 24. Section 25, these ones which I listed in section 24, these are to do with safety. These are safety incidents. Section 25 looks at health incidents, health cases. Now, whenever there are cases which affect the health of people, you have to report them as well. Section 25 speaks of how there is a list under the COID Act of these different cases, different diseases, which when they manifest at your workplace, you have to report them to Department of Labor. Hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? Cool stuff. Keep well. Bye-bye. And have a great one. Get in touch with us. Drop us an email. If you need training as a company, give us a shout. We'll come and do training for you, and you'll never regret it. Good prices, but better, even better service. Keep well. Bye-bye. How do I stop this?